Hello! Today we are going to draw a city, and I want to show you an illustration out of this book, Wow, City, written and illustrated by Robert Newbecker. So if we take a look at the page that says, Wow, buildings, that's what we're going to focus on, are these wonderful buildings. And I love how the illustrator has used different colors. Look how you have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, even light purples. So they've used a lot of colors, and then look at the different shapes. Not only are the buildings shaped different, so some are kind of a simple square rectangle, and then some have layers, some have the triangles on the point, or they come even to more of a point. Some have a half circle on top. And then the windows, you've got square windows. These windows just look like little marks, don't they? And then here we've got some that are upside down, letter U's, and then even fancier windows. These buildings are up close, so we see more detail. Even this building back here has stripes going down it. And then look at the tops of the buildings. They can get very fancy. Look at this one with swirls on it. You even have a clock. So this is as if we were on the street looking up at all these buildings kind of angled to the middle. But we're going to draw ours a little bit more simple. But I want you to keep in mind the different shapes you can use. So I'm going to start with this sheet of paper. And we're going to start and build a city. So the first thing I want you to do is make a line going across your paper. And this is going to leave you some space at the bottom. So I'm going to go all the way across here. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And this just gives you a little place here where you can be creative. If you want to draw a sidewalk and people walking on it, if you want to draw a road and cars and trucks, you could do things like that. If you want this to be a little park that's in front of the city, you can do that as well. So I'm going to leave that for right now. So I'm going to start building my city by starting with the buildings in the front, and I'm going to draw a couple simple shapes. So I'm going to go up, over, down. That's not perfect. That's okay. You just try your best. That is definitely a little bit sideways there, and I'm okay with it. So now I'm going to draw another building down here. A little bit shorter. Okay, so those have started off with just some rectangle shapes, right? You can make it look more square if you want. And I'm going to top this one off with a triangle. Now, I'm looking at a picture of Charlotte. So I'm going to be using some of the buildings in Charlotte as an inspiration for this, but I'm not going to make it look exactly like it. I'm just going to try my best. So I've got two buildings to start. Now I'm going to do a big, tall one in the back. And I'm going to go up, almost to the top, across. Now look what happens when I go down. I'm going to stop at this building. I don't want to keep going through it, right? Because this building is behind this building. This building is in front. So it is overlapping. Okay, I'm going to draw another, maybe just some little buildings down here. Maybe those are just, maybe like a little restaurant or a little store. I'll do another one right here. Oh, that one's going to go behind there. All right, so I'm just building up my little city. I'm going to do one more building here. I'm going to go out and out. And then I'm going to kind of do a little half circle on top. Do you see how that's a half circle? Okay, and then back here, I want one that has layers. So watch what I do. I'm going behind. I go up, over, down, and I'm just going to go and make little layers on here just by going a little bit smaller each time. And really, I just go up, over, down. Does your city have to look like mine? No. Up, over, down. These ones are going to get smaller. Up, over, down, up, over, down. And because I want this to look like Charlotte, this is kind of my building here that we're going to kind of recognize maybe. I'm going to go down and down. It looks like a V, doesn't it? And then these two lines are going to go down all the way, all the way, all the way, down all the way, all the way, all the way. And then I'm going to make a big V in here. Okay, so I've drawn a lot of buildings. Maybe you have less buildings. Maybe you have more buildings. Maybe you want to add even more and more and more back here. Cities like New York City are going to just have many, many, many buildings behind and layered because there's just so many skyscrapers, these big tall buildings, and there's just so many buildings in New York City. So if you want to do that, you can as well. I'm going to make one more little guy back here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So now I'm going to add in some little marks or windows, and this is up to you if you want to have some of these buildings are closer to us, right? Because they're in front. So maybe these have some windows you can see better. I'm going to start off with some little almost squares. They look like rectangles. Just go in there and make some simple windows. Now, if you wanted to, you could add an extra little line in there. Make it just a little bit fancier. If you wanted to have some windows that had a line going down and across, you could. That doesn't look as much like a building as it does like a little house. Should I put a little roof on there? Maybe I'll put a little roof on there that looks like that. And then if you want to have, if you're using a marker, and I'm using Sharpie, but you can be starting with pencil so you can erase any mistakes. I'm just going to make little dashes because mine is pretty thick. So if you had a marker, you could just make little dashes. Because we're kind of far away from this city right now, aren't we? We look like we're far away, so we wouldn't be able to see all this detail. What if I did an upside down letter U for the buildings like this, and then made a line across? That's a letter we know. Upside down letter U, and then line across. Okay. Oh my goodness. And you could add doorways down here. Like I said, you could add a little sidewalk. I'm just going to leave mine simple right here. This would be fun. Some cities are on water, right? So you could have some water down here. Now, Charlotte, our skyline, our city up here is not right on like a river or the ocean or like other cities, but you could have a little pond here that's part of a park that you're in the park looking at the city. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to do little marks on this one too because it's kind of getting further away. And maybe I'm going to do some lines up here at the top. So I'm just going to make some simple lines to show, yes, these are filled with windows. So you can kind of fill it up. I'm going to leave this building kind of blank. And this one, maybe I'm going to do stripes. Just going to make some lines. I'm using a variety of lines. A variety meaning different types of lines and shapes to decorate my little building. Okay, and then down here, maybe this one's just going to have lines going across. Maybe that has different layers. So now, once you finish this part, you get to decide what other little details you're going to add down here. So if I was going to have, let's say, a little pond, I could have a little pond, I could have a little walkway, and it would be fun if you drew little people, maybe people doing different things down here. If it was a park, they could be playing frisbee or having a picnic, or maybe there's a playground. If it's a busy street, you can show the different cars on there. And then you can think about your different colors. Now, when we looked at the Wow City, we could see a lot of different colors, couldn't we? All these different colors in the buildings. So can you make your buildings different colors? Of course you can. Another thing you can do is color the sky. So I'm actually going to go into my crayons here, and you have to think, should I do a blue sky? I could do a sunset sky. If I wanted to do a sunset sky, I could start off with some sunset colors. So I might start off with some yellow, and I like using crayon for sunsets because I can layer my colors. So look what I do. I'm going to color this area in and back here. So maybe it's the sunrise in the morning or the sunset at night. I'm putting a little bit of yellow behind here, and then I'm going to go to an orange and I just layer it on top. Look what I do. And I'm not coloring really, really hard. And I put some of the orange over some of the yellow. Put some of the orange over some of the yellow. What do you think about that? And then I could move on to reds and pinks. So I'm going to do a sunrise picture. So good luck making your city. Yours can be a lot different than mine. This is just one way to do it. Just think about doing a variety of shapes, so different shapes, a variety of windows, different windows, and then think about all the fun detail you can add into your city. Good luck.